How do you keep a business not just running, but profitable and growing for over 30 years? That's exactly what today's guest has done. And in this episode, he shares the timeless principles that have fueled his long-term success. Whether you're just starting out with a brand new business or you've been in the game for a while, these insights are going to be incredibly valuable. Let's dive in and learn exactly what it takes to build a business that lasts.
Are you looking for new ways to make your sales grow? You've tried other podcasts, but they don't seem to know. Harvest the growth potential of your product or service as we share stories and strategies that'll make your competitors nervous. Now, here's the host of the Harvest Growth Podcast, John LeClaire.
Welcome back to the show. I'm really excited to be speaking with Bob Janjigian today. He is a managing partner of Kingsbury Club. There's actually two fitness clubs in Massachusetts, the Kingsbury Club and then the Kingsbury Club Medfield. You can get them, you can check them out at kingsburyclub.com and kingsburyclubmedfield.com. If you're listening from a remote area that's not near Massachusetts, at least check out the website. These are beautiful clubs. It's really impressive what Bob and his team have built over the years, and you can see some great imagery. If you're local, check out the gyms for sure. You're going to love them. But we're going to talk about the story behind those clubs and some interesting business stories as well along the way. Before we dive in further, though, I just want to welcome to the show, Bob.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you taking the time. Managing and running two big clubs like this and owning these two big clubs, I know is a very busy job. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to share your story with us. So thanks again for that. Let's talk about the two clubs. So one of them started, I believe, in 1992. It's been around for a long time. The other in 2008. Can you talk maybe about, let's just talk about the clubs themselves for those who might not be familiar with them, and give us a description of how the two might be similar or different from each other, and some of the key amenities, describe the clubs in general.
Yeah, they're kind of a different animal. They're multi-purpose clubs, starting with fitness and tennis. Some of the other things they have are aquatics, a lot of pickleball, basketball, platform tennis, which is a different outdoor sport in Medfield, spa and salon we have in Kingston. Both have restaurants. And, the two are slightly different in what they offer, but relatively the same. The main components, like the tennis, the fitness, the aquatics, we have all of that. So it's everything under one roof. And Kingston's about, I'd say, 85,000 square feet, and Medfield's about 165,000 square feet.
Those are big clubs. How far apart geographically are the two clubs?
About 50 minutes. So I have a pretty good commute. So I live around the Boston area. So I'm a little bit over an hour to Kingston and about 40 minutes to Medfield.
Do you generally split your time roughly between the two?
Yeah, every other day I'm usually at the other club, and the beauty of that is no one ever really knows where I'm at. So I can,
Nice.
If I go golfing, I can do that just as easily.
That's awesome.
But I'm generally I used to do both clubs sometimes on the same day, and but now it's as I've gotten older, it's every other day for either one. Yeah.
How did you originally? So let's dial back to 1992. How did you originally found the first club?
Well, it all started with my dad. My dad was doing workout projects with banks. So if a bank had troubled property, he would go in, and if they had foreclosed, he would go in and rework the operation and get it ready for an auction or a resale. And this was one of the properties down in Kingston and right around 1990, 1991. And he loved the business and, really enjoyed it. And at that point, put a partnership team together. And it was strange because there was an auction right in the parking lot. And we ended up, paying more than we wanted to, but we got the club, and at the time it was only fitness. No, I'm sorry, not even fitness. It was only tennis and like a function room. So And at that point, it wasn't really, in 92, there weren't a lot of clubs that did more than that. You were either a tennis club or you were a gym or whatever. That was right around the time where people started to add fitness to these multi-purpose clubs. And, it was about 5 years, and then we added the fitness, and then that's when things really took off, from there. So, and then, our membership team has been together ever since. We've got, 5 partners who are still together after all this time.
Wow, that's impressive. You must be good to work with. That's a lot to say. That's a very long time to be together.
Oh, a long time. And, I'm the only one who works there now, but, everybody else had their own businesses and everything. But, we've been meeting every week during all those years. And so it's really worked out well.
If you rewind back to that early day, so it was an existing business. You've changed it and grown it a lot since then. But obviously, when you make a big capital investment like that, you've got to generate revenues quickly to be able to pay back loans and grow the business, of course. How did it happen in the early days? How did you generate revenues back in 1992 when you first started this?
Well, that was tough because you only had one revenue source. It was the tennis. We would do functions and everything, but it was a number of years before, we did better than breaking even. And what really made that take off is when we added fitness and some additional services that allow you to have, additional revenue streams. And I think that's the benefit of having, there's a big entry point on a big club, but the beauty of that type of club is that you've got additional revenue streams. You're not reliant on one particular one. So
nice. And as trends come and go, like obviously pickleball was not a part of probably either club in the very early days. It's a growing and massive sport now, but it didn't exist, especially back in 1992 for sure. So it's interesting how you brought in and kind of changed the business model. Did you at the time look around? I mean, as you mentioned, it was unique, right, to bring in fitness and combine it with tennis. Did you learn that from other businesses you'd seen in other parts of the country, or was this just internally figured out that, hey, let's add fitness and get that additional revenue stream?
Well, I think we probably started a couple of clubs, but not many. And my background was always fitness. So I actually came from the IT side. I used to work for New Balance and some other companies. And so when my dad started this, I hadn't yet joined working there. And so my background was the fitness, so I was trying to push that element into it. Back then, Kingston had 7 tennis courts, so we ended up converting one to fitness. And so it over time, at that point, you get a lot of different ideas from the industry. You go to the industry shows. The next thing we added was a pool. I mean, they're big capital expenditures. So you got to take risk. I mean, it was a lot of borrowing money, and some of the times it was a tough road to hoe. And but originally, I think a lot of clubs tried to offer like a tennis separate membership, fitness only membership, and over time, we, as well as I think a lot of these clubs, realized it's, first of all, you can't really manage that, trying to keep people from playing tennis to go working out and things like that. The model ended up being just one price covers all, you charge court fees and things like that. But so it's not for everybody. If you just want a $10 workout and you don't need everything else, well, probably not for you. But over time, it's really developed as more of our biggest clients are families. So, a family could come in, the dad could be working out, the mom might be playing tennis, the kids are doing the kids programs. And it's just a great family atmosphere. And that's what we've seen grow the most.
And you mentioned you've got a restaurant on site, and obviously we call it a club, right? A club environment. you compare that to some fitness facilities that might, the really cheap ones or whatever. There's a purpose for it, right? If you just want to go in and work out alone and be out of there in half an hour or whatever. How is the environment though? I assume it's very social, right? It's almost like from what I understand, a kind of a country club feel where you go in and know people. It's if you could maybe describe the experience in the club and why some of your members do choose to stay with you for so long.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's sometimes we describe it that way. It's like a country club without the golf. And in many ways, we offer a lot more than what a country club would offer. And we have our meetings Wednesday nights at our Medfield clubs with the partners and everything. And the pub is just, really, it's buzzing most of the nights. I mean, it kind of comes in waves. You could have, so in Medfield, we've got 12 indoor pickleball courts, and you could have, 30 people come off the courts and go to the restaurant. And we've got golf simulators in the restaurant. So we've got the golf leagues going. People could be coming off pickleball, could be coming off tennis, coming down from fitness. Tons of families in the restaurant, and just people as groups. They just congregate. It's easier just to come to the restaurant than try to meet out somewhere else. And the food's great and the atmosphere is great. It's just a great spot to be in. And a lot of times we just sit back and enjoy the membership and chit chat with them. And it's funny, over the years, people feel a little safer knowing that their kids are working out under the same roof that they're playing tennis or pickleball. So it becomes like a family event. Sometimes they're there 2, 3, 4 hours of the day. It's crazy. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Getting that kind of social feel, it makes such a big difference. Frankly, I wish I lived a lot closer. It's a long commute from Denver out to Massachusetts, unfortunately, but I do need that we get out there fairly often. So I'll have to
I'm
come
sure
by and
you
visit
guys probably have
gym
a lot of
one of these
clubs
days.
like that too out there, I would think.
Yeah, it's somewhat similar, for sure. But, again, to our audience, check out the website. These clubs in Massachusetts are beautiful. Like what you've put together is really impressive at both locations. You can see all the photos on both websites. Again, Kingsbury Club and KingsburyClubMedfield.com. It's, those are unique. I mean, there's certainly clubs out here. There's good locations, et cetera. It's different, but I definitely want to come out and visit those. Let's talk about opening two businesses that are relatively similar, two locations, but I'm trying to do the math. Let's say 16 years apart. Is that right? So 1992 to 2008, very different times, kind of pre-internet and post-internet almost, right? Like the internet boom, the original one was right in the middle of that, right? Around the year 2000-ish or late 90s kind of thing. How is it different opening the club in 92 versus 2008 from a marketing perspective? So how you got the word out, et cetera, what changed in that interim?
Well, yeah, I mean, Kingston was an existing club. So, that dynamic was in some ways a lot easier. Medfield, we built from scratch. So, and we opened September of 2008, right at the recession. I mean, the absolute worst time. You couldn't pick a worse time to open a business. And so we had a trailer out there doing pre-sales probably for a couple of years. And towards the end, the cost of steel skyrocketed. Everything went through the roof. So luckily, we had the benefit of Kingston to help support the shortfall in Medfield. It was very, very difficult. I got to tell you, because the capital expenditure on building a club like that, and when we built it, it was tennis and fitness and restaurants. So there was no pools, no pickleball. You have to build your revenue up to the point where the banks would even talk to you about doing an expansion from that point. So it was, I won't lie. It was very difficult and had some tough roads. For sure. And luckily, we've got, for us, the staff is the key. And we've had staff with us since 1992. Most of our managers have been there, anywhere from 10 to 25 years. So they know the operation. And that's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, keys to why we've been successful.
I think it's a great example too for myself and for our listeners. As really, there's distress involved with both of the businesses, right? The first one you bought out of it was a distressed property at the time, right? And you came in and turned it around and grew it. And the second one, the economy was distressed. I mean, 08, 09 was a brutal time, especially to be launching something new like this. That is it's a luxury to be able to go to a club where people are starting to pinch pennies, et cetera. So it makes it difficult. And now, both businesses are really flourishing. I think it's a great example of fight through hard times that come in any business. Sometimes it's driven by economic circumstances that we can't control, right? The world around us. And sometimes it's driven by problems, mistakes, things that happen that are very business specific, but we can weather through the storm. And staying with the business, making it work, getting the right people, as you mentioned, involved in the business can certainly help grow and make it past the storm into much better times and, very successful businesses you've got now. So I want to shift gear. Oh, go ahead.
Our partners, whenever we needed an infuse of capital, whether it was, temporary or long-term, no one ever hesitated. And, it would have been easy to look at some of those tough times and say, I can't do it anymore. And, but nobody did. And I think that's why we've got a pretty close-knit group.
That's good. I think I'm glad you brought that up because you think about it's really having that shared vision, whether it's investors, partners, or yourself, for solopreneurs that are out there, having the vision of what the business is going to become helps you weather those storms, right? It helps you see past what might be a current difficulty towards what your end goal is. And, you knew at the time, and your partners, as you're saying, did as well, of what this business could and would become eventually. And you just need to push through some of the hard stuff. And sometimes that's funding. Sometimes it's tenacity. There's a lot that it could take, but yeah, it's good to have a good team behind you.
Like COVID, that was another tough one. So tough.
Well, Bob, thanks for the time today. Is there anything I didn't ask you about your club or anything else that you think would be helpful for our audience?
Well, for the most part, I think we've just got a great team and, the employees, treat it like it's their own. So I don't have to worry about, our general managers and all the managers, they take care of, every problem. The staff has been tremendous and everything we try to do high end. So no one really worries about, well, how can we do this new project, the cheapest way possible or whatever we end up doing. I would just say, to anybody looking to do something, give the best product, listen to your members, try to do whatever you choose to do that they are recommending, do it the best you can. And they end up for instance, we just added free coffee to both clubs. It's a lot of money. By the end of the year, we're probably spending $75,000 a year on free coffee. And a lot of people would look at that and say, well, where's the money in that? But the membership love it. And in the end, it just helps the overall product. So it's not all about, what you can sell with immediate payback. It's the overall product for us.
Yeah, the quality of the experience. And I think that applies really to any business that our audience might own or will be looking to launch, et cetera. The quality of the experience and the quality of, as you call it, the product that you're delivering. And I like that you also mentioned the importance of the team, right? Sometimes our team are front facing. So in a business like yours, the team is part of the product, right? It's part of the experience, the quality with people going into your clubs. that's who they interact with, right? Sometimes it's like in my business, it's behind the scenes in the very beginning, right? Because we're working on videos and marketing campaigns, et cetera. So the campaigns we do, nobody sees us. It's about, we do ours behind the scenes. But either way, whatever type of business you might run, having the team behind the owner to be involved, to feel a part of the business, and to have and be able to provide that high quality experience. That's absolutely important. I agree. I do want to,
and you have to treat your staff the way you'd want to be treated, and I think that's how we do it.
And it certainly shows by the business you've built.
Thank you.
So I do want to encourage our audience, please check out either one of Bob's websites, so kingsburyclub.com or kingsburyclubmedfield.com. If you're in the local area in Massachusetts, go check them out. These are great clubs. Otherwise, check out the websites just to see this great business that Bob has built. And I really want to encourage you to, hopefully you gained a lot from this interview. It's been a lot of fun for me. And Bob, thank you again for taking the time. Also for our audience, thank you for tuning into today's episode where we uncover the stories and strategies behind some of the most successful marketers out there. If you're looking to take your business to the next level, be sure to visit perfectlaunch.com. You can grab a free copy of my book, The Perfect Launch System. It's packed with proven principles we've developed over the past 20 years, helping hundreds of businesses launch and grow successfully. Plus, you'll also get exclusive one-page summaries of some of our most popular podcast interviews, real-world insights you can apply right away. Head to perfectlaunch.com and start building your perfect launch today. Until next time, keep learning, keep launching, and keep growing.